Hey everybody, this is Dark Side Elite here, and I wanted to do this video because I just finished watching Titans Season 2, Episode 11. Um, this episode was actually very interesting. I liked how they did Nightwing. I still have a problem with Raven. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. If you guys love Raven, if you like how she's being written, great. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Me personally, I don't like it. I think that her character is very weak. I think they don't know what to do with her. She is a pretty OP character, but it's not about her powers. It's about her personality. And right now, she's being a soap opera actress, and that's what I'm getting from her character. There was more depth to Starfire than there was to Raven, and they dedicated a whole season to Raven. There was more depth to Starfire, and it's not about the actress. It's about how they write them. I don't know what they're doing with Raven's character. I think the actress actually could look the part of Raven. I think she's a very beautiful young woman. She can actually do the part very well. But they need to find that balance where she's starting to become more devoid of her emotions, so she can become more in control of her own powers. But they make her so emotionally weak. It creates way too much drama than it needs to be. But we finally get an introduction to Bruce Wayne to the rest of the group. Glen is a phenomenal actor. I have no problem with him in the part of being Bruce Wayne. But the fear I had about him, how they did Bruce Wayne in this universe, has got completely to the point where now I go, okay, they don't know how to write Batman. They don't know how to write Batman. Um, One of the biggest things. Okay. Let's go back to the first season. The first season they introduced Donna Troy, and there was a speech that Donna Troy gave to Dick Grayson about the differences of Batman to Wonder Woman, and it was a very eye-opening speech that she gave, and it makes sense. This is who they are. Wonder Woman was created for bringing peace and prosperity to man. That's what her creation was. She's supposed to bring peace and prosperity. Batman was created of pain, tragedy, and fear. He is ruled by it, and he inflicts it on other people. What they did with Bruce Wayne in this, he looks like he's beaten. He sounds like he's a beaten person. He's his demeanor does not feel like Batman. Now, people could say, well, he's not in his suit. It doesn't matter. You have to understand. Okay, that is one of the main reasons why we need an understanding of who this version of Batman is. Because from every account, if you've ever read a Batman book, if you even looked at the TV shows or even a cartoon, the moment Bruce's parents died in that alleyway and he watched their deaths, that was the death of Bruce Wayne. That was the birth of Batman. That was the birth of him becoming the Batman. And that is, from my point of view, that's been his whole thing ever since they've always done his origin. That they always stated the moment Bruce's parents died in that alleyway, that was the death of Bruce Wayne. Batman is the real him. Bruce Wayne is the mask. They've always done it. So the person that is in the suit, that's really Bruce. He's a pretty cold person. He's very detached. He he doesn't give feelings. He doesn't talk in a way of feelings. He talks very calculating. He talks very cold. He talks very detached. And that's what makes him feel like does he really care? Yes, he does care. If he didn't care, he never would have showed up in the first place. And one of the biggest reasons why they show the differences between Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne is they said that he always put Dick Grayson has always stated in every time when Bruce gets mentioned or Batman, He doesn't want to talk about him, mainly because he says, dude, he was a taskmaster. He beat the living daylights out of me. He made me do this and this and this and this and this. But in all retrospect, it prepared Dick Grayson to become the hero that he was meant to be. Now, the way they did him in this series, he doesn't seem like Bruce. He doesn't seem like Bruce Wayne Batman. He seems like Batman slash Bruce Wayne. He seems more like the that he never became the Dark Knight Batman. He's just a guy in a suit, and that's it. There's nothing majestic or fearsome coming from him. Like the moment they introduced him, the moment he arrived at the diner where all the other girls are at. So Raven, Starfire, Donna, and Dawn, they all arrived at this diner. Now I'll get into this a little bit further how this all transpired, but Bruce Wayne just basically looked at him and just said, "Huh, you guys all arrived." That's not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne's like, "Good, you're all here. Let's do this." It's like he planned it all out. Like he planned that they're all gonna show up. It's like, wait a minute, wait a minute, you did all this, and how did you? He goes, and he says that doesn't matter anymore. This is what needs to happen. Okay, this is what's going on, and you guys need to fix this. Like he wouldn't talk to them as like he wouldn't talk to them the way he did in the series. He would talk to them very like, this is what needs to be done. This is what you guys need to do. Get it done, or you're all gonna die. Deathstroke is not someone you need to meddle with like this. You need to come together or die. Simple as that. And again, I have no problem with Ilan Glen. I have no problem with the actor. The actor is doing the job that is written for him. It's the direction and the writing that really throws me off with a lot of these characters. Um, I have no problems with a lot of the actors on this series. It's just some of the writing. It's like they got a lot of them almost pinned down, but they got the other ones that are written like, what the heck? Sorry, I didn't want to pause it. Okay. Okay, so um let's get into the story. Basically, it seemed like Raven was doing all of her telepathy to get everybody together. So Donna, excuse me again. Okay, sorry about that. So it seemed like they were she was trying to get everybody together. Now she subconsciously does. I mean, consciously she doesn't know she's doing it, but I think that she does. I think that a part of her knows that she really needs the rest of them together and that she needs help. Um, the girl that she helped in the last episode, she just found out that her dad got ripped apart and she's dead, but she's showing a very homicidal, sociopathic tendency. Now, here's the thing. The way she acted, it makes sense. She said that her father beat the living crap out of her every single day and she hated it. And if he suffered, great. She didn't care. But I think that that was just one moment of it. I don't think she's become a homicidal murderer or anything like that. But I truly think that there's something more there. There's something more with that character, and I think that they're going to visit that later next season, hopefully. Um, but Donna gets information like she's trying to contact Dick, and also like, hey, Gar and him and got captured. She's trying to find Rachel, figure out what the hell's going on. Starfire is basically she can't leave Earth. Like her she can't leave Earth. She can't leave Earth at all. The ship was destroyed, and now her sisters say basically, you can sit there on Earth all day. I have the royal crown of Tamaran. I'm the queen of Tamaran, and you're not. So there's nothing you could do about it. So she's stuck on Earth, even though she wants to go home and get that crown back. So there's a lot they're trying to do here, and they're trying to set a lot up. So, and I think that it's a really good thing. Um, Donna is pretty much kicking all of Hank's stuff to the curb. We don't know what's going on with Hank. Um, but I have a huge feeling that some more stuff is going to happen next season. They're going to bring them back next season. It's going to be big and it's going to be relevant. Um, and you find out about Starfire. She's basically about to screw this guy, and he's a professional psychiatrist. He's a pretty handsome dude. So right before they're about to, she's about to make him give him the greatest sex he's ever had. Out of nowhere, he starts talking about like, this is pretty self-destructive behavior, and she's sitting there going, "Oh my God, I did not bring you up here for this. Come on, drop them pants, let's go." And he's sitting there going, he brings up something about he brings up something about like he wants to talk about it, and she finally reveals that she just lost her family again. She first found out that her sister killed her mother and father, and that now she just lost, and she just came to Earth, did not know who the heck she was. She found out a brand new family that she loves greatly, but now she lost her real family, and now the other family she created just got broken up. So right before our eyes, whole world, two worlds got completely destroyed. So she feels so alone and so detached from everything. She doesn't know what the hell she was. And on top of that, she was willing to leave and go fix the crap that was going on her home world. So there's a lot going on there. Like I said, there's more depth to Starfire than there is to Raven right now. Two, Donna is trying to look for Richard, but she doesn't know that Richard's in jail. She doesn't know. I'm sorry, Richard's in Kane County in I think that's on the outsides of Gotham. Um, uh, then we come. Oh, we catch up to Jason and Rose, and Jason is opening himself up to her. So he's trying to basically say that he wants to be with her, and he seems like he's in a better mentality. But Rose is trying to push away. But she's finally going. You know what? I actually, she's seen her. She actually likes him, and they pursue forward with their relationship after he reveals to her about his past a little bit more and a lot of things and a lot of other things. So that part of the storyline is pretty cool. Then a big thing happens later on, and I'll catch up to that a little bit. Um, then we catch up to Richard, who's having his dream states again, and he's meeting up with a part of his subconscious of his own personality, and it's trying to tell him that, hey, guess what? Jericho's alive. You caught all of this, and you just didn't piece it together because you're still in your self pity. And that's when they have Bruce and him, his mental personality of that creates itself into Bruce. They go through a little conflict, and that's when you start seeing him training. He's in the rooms, moving around and doing this, and you're starting to see the birth of Nightwing. This is finally the birth of Nightwing. That it finally broke into him that he needs to get the heck out of here. And all of us already knew that the moment he got in that place, he could easily get the heck out of there. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. He can walk out of that place and disappear. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I got to check it. I got to check something real quick. Okay, so but everybody, not everybody, but all the girls, so Donna, Starfire, Raven, and even Dawn, they get this information to go to Elko-Nevada and go to Elko's diner. And they finally go there, and that's when they meet up with Bruce Wayne, who's basically telling them that, you know, everything's not your guys' fault. You need to come together again. And they're sitting there going, no, we can't come back together like this. And he says, no. And he kind of tells them that if you guys don't come together, Deathstroke's going to kill all of you. There's no if and buts about it. You need to come together. You are way more formidable together than you are alone. And he kind of just basically walks out and leaves. So um, uh, Raven goes off with Starfire, and Dawn goes off with Donna. And when she says, "Well, let's go get Richard," and they go, "Hell no, I'm not going. I'm not doing it." If he's got himself into something, he can get himself out of it. And they kind of go, "We got to save Gar. Gar is in way more dire straits. We need to go find him and get him out of his funk." Now we catch up to Gar, who's being one of the most messed up things I have ever scene on this series. Gar allowed Mercy and Cadmus to tinker with his head. They opened a piece of his head open and they were meddling with his brain. And what Mercy wanted to do was she wanted to find the part of his brain that triggers his transformations. And we all know what the heck that means. That she's gonna put something in there to make sure that she can turn him into the tiger and completely do what he needs to do. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be rough because Gar's a pretty powerful individual, and two, a tiger form is pretty powerful. So I mean, the only ones that could probably just knock him around is gonna be Starfire and Donna. I mean, knock him completely flat. Like he will go right back to human form after they punch him one time. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but they were tinkering with his head and actually triggered his transformation. They triggered his transformation, and they were like, "Oh, there it is." So they know exactly what the part of the brain will do to trigger his transformations. And I'm like, "Oh boy, this is huge ramifications." And I think that this is gonna be one of the things that's gonna turn Gar. It's really one of the things that's gonna destroy a little bit more of the Gar's soul. I think that the way they built his character, he's a free loving person. He wants to be a hero, but I think he made too many bad choices, and it's going to wreck him. It's going to wreck him all the way down to his core. And I have a feeling that he's going to get more angry at them than at himself. More on the fact of that he only joined up with them because he wanted to be a hero. He never but they never gave him an opportunity to be a hero. They never gave him an opportunity for anything. And I think that this is going to be one of the things that Richard is going to now have to really set up the Titans, because Gar's going to get completely broken. He's going to be a broken character, and I think that now the whole situation with Rachel and oh man, it's bad. This whole situation with Gar is bad. Um, then okay, so then we catch up to where they find out where Richard is. They find out that Richard's actually in Kane County, and they decide to go get him. And they get there, and she's using her power. I mean, Raven's using her powers and everything. And now you come to find out that something's wrong with Starfire. Like I mean, it's nighttime, so she can't use the full range of her powers. But they already knew that. But there's something else going on, and I think it's a more psychological trigger for her. I think that she's so mentally messed up about her sister and everything else. She can't use her powers correctly. Like her powers fizz out like that. So I think they're showing how powerful they were in the first season and how dangerous they can actually be. But now they're actually pulling them back, and they're gonna start slowly rebuilding them, building up their characters again. And I think that's a good thing to do. I think that'll be pretty interesting to see, because I mean, Starfire is hands down the most powerful one there. She's the most powerful person there right now. That right next to her is literally going to be Rachel. I mean, Raven is very very powerful in her own right also, because she's part demon. So, um, but they're doing that. So it's like, okay. So they finally get into the room, and they kind of find the same his solitary confinement, and he scribbled on there that Jericho is alive and he's gone. So that already shows that he knows he can get out of there any day he wanted. He just wanted to spend his time in there and pay his dues. Like I said before, I said that in the earlier video. He's just paying his dues. He's not getting the heck out of there. So then now you get a little bit more information and a little bit more things with Gar. And what's going on with Gar is that he's talking to this, you get this room that he's sitting in Titan's Tower, but he's not in Titan's Tower. And Rachel runs in and goes, "Oh, hi," and it's actually one of the scientists. So you're getting two sides of what's going on. So you know that this is all in his head. And they sit down and start talking, and he's sitting there saying that, "Hey, you know what? I'm in Cadmus," and he goes, "Whoa," and then she turns on she hits this remote switch, and this classical pianist music comes on. And I'm sitting there going, what the heck? And all of a sudden you see him going, he starts twitching a little bit, and you see him going, like how he's trying to change, and then you're like, what the heck? He literally physically changes there, and he looks at this woman and completely rips her apart. He eats her. He completely just rips into her like like a fat guy on a Sunday, on a hot day. He just rips into this girl, and she's sitting this woman, and she's screaming, banging on the window for Mercy to open it up, and Mercy's sitting there going, "Oh my god!" Like, oh, she's sitting there revolts, but she's like, "Whoa!" Like she got a weapon. She got a legitimate weapon, and I'm going, oh boy. This was the turning point of this. To me, this was a turning point episode because again, they've shelved Gar almost this whole season, and I think this is the reason why they did it, because they in a way don't know what to do with Gar. They don't know what to do with them. They got all these other powerhouses in Raven and Donna, Starfire, now Connor, and now they got Rose, and she's a badass in her own right. And it's like, wow, they got a lot of powerhouses on that team, and they got to up the game with Gar, because I mean, I have a feeling that they're going to show that Gar can transform into other things. Like he could transform into other animals, and but they want to keep it simple with the tiger for a little while, make it cheaper, and then they could be able to try other animals, like maybe an elephant, maybe, I don't know. So we got to see how that goes, but I think they're gonna keep them reduced down to certain like feline level, because it's easier to have a person on a hands and feet, and they're running around and everything else, and they just do the mocap of that. Who knows how they do it? I know. I think it's majority all CGI. That'd be pretty cool. But I think they have a huge story for Gar, and I think that it has more relevance to what his character's going through in this season, because he's always been detached, and he has never, and I mean in a way of the storyline, because he hasn't been on that team for very long, and they're not really treating him as a team member. So we're gonna see that come into fruition. So there's a lot more in this episode, and I kind of want to bounce this off of Hawk and see what he thinks. I think that he should watch this episode at his own peril with the whole thing with Raven. He doesn't like Raven at all. We talked about that in the last episode, in the last review, and I personally truly think, with my heart of hearts, that if this show writes uh, Rachel a lot better, I think I'll be a lot more receptive of this TV show. Ooh, I'm sorry, a lot more receptive to this TV show. Um, but I'm in it. I love Brandon Thiel as Dick Grayson. He is doing a really great job. Anna Diop is doing a really great job also. Mika Kelly, Richardson. I think that all of them are doing a great job. I mean, even the girl that's playing Raven, I think that she's doing a great job too. But they write in Raven really bad, and it drags. Like her scenes drag, and it's like, oh my god, move on, please, move on, please. And I mean, that's to me. Again, that's me. I think I rather for her to be that, that stereotypical emo that just reads poetry. She tries to she paints, and she doesn't have to have the goth nails. She doesn't have to have all that. It's just more in the fact of she just keeps to herself, and she rather keep to herself than open up, because she's afraid of her powers, and that will make a lot more sense. So how I rate this episode, again, no, to my personal opinion, I mean, I show a lot of excitement and a lot of, and it's not a five. Okay, in all honesty, I think this is a seven. This is a episode's a 7 out of 10. Connor was an 8, and Deathstroke was a 9. I like that episode very much, and I think that the Deathstroke episode was very cool, and it gave us a good understanding about Deathstroke and what the heck they were dealing with. Oh, and one thing they did in the episode that actually was a big gigantic middle finger to everybody is that Rose was in on it. Rose was working with Slade this whole time. I don't know if they're trying to push that this is Slade's daughter, or that this is just another woman that he basically found and trained, and this is a woman that he trained up. So, like I said, it's a 7. It's a good episode. It's not one of their better episodes, but it's up there. Actually, it's not one of their worser episodes. No, let's pull that back. It's not one of their worser episodes. Um, but it's above me. It's a lot better than some episodes. But Connor and Deathstroke were the two top main episodes. To me, they're written very well, and the characters' motivations were very well done too. The action kept was a good pace. Um, in my personal opinion, I don't like how they wrote Bruce Wayne. I'll get further in that in another video. And but yeah, like I said, like, comment, share, subscribe down below, hit that bell. This week is legitimately Fallen Order. I will be playing that. I will be streaming that. I want to have that game, and I want to have so much fun with it. So hit that bell. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, again, I don't like how they're writing Raven. Tell me why you like Raven. Why do you like this Bruce Wayne? Give me some understanding, so then I can find maybe some appreciation in it. I appreciate they brought Bruce Wayne. I just don't like the writing for Bruce Wayne. I want the cold, calculating, detached Bruce Wayne. I want the Bruce Wayne that they described in season one. This does not feel that description. This feels like a complete 180. This doesn't feel like that. So I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna leave it there. You guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.